So fucking with them, yeah, my money gets up. I used to work for my money, now my money working for me. Boy, I'm something like a plug. Grinding to get it, the rest is your business. I ain't on that block, I here hustling drugs. Throwing that fatty confetti, got honeys hot and heavy, ready to leave out this club. Gotta get it 24/7. While you boys sleep, I'ma eat. Yeah, I might try and make it to a meal. Matter of fact, make it to a 3. Pulled up so damn clean. Shitted on them, no TP. They tryna figure what the lick reads. So the 45 where they hit D.
What's up? It's Di from Make It to a Millie. I got my guy Brandon Ballinger here. I'm at Ballinger Detailing. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yeah, I'm Brandon Ballinger. That's my shop.
So Brandon, how did you get started detailing?
It was kind of random, really. So I worked at Honda for like 7 years, and I was going to school for mechanical engineering, and they wasn't trying to work with me or nothing, trying to work with my schedule. So I ended up going to, I left there and I went to UPS as a supervisor, and I was only working part-time. So I started looking into getting another part-time job or like something I could do on the side, and couldn't really think of anything I did or that I was good at, and I stumbled across detailing because I always had nice cars and always took care of them, and kind of started it and just went with it.
Yeah, and I think that's what sometimes people think too hard into it, like they don't just go with the flow, and you never know what happened. Like that's how it's always been for me. Like I don't really try too hard to, I need to do this and I need to do that. I pretty much just do stuff I'm good at, and then just see where it takes me, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did. So I initially started, I bought like my startup stuff, and I was like, at least if I could get 7 or 10 cars, I'll have my money back. Then I'll have a vacuum for my car, I'll have a pressure washer, I'll have some wash stuff. And at first I was nervous, man. I'm like, I might not make my $800 or whatever it was, $600 or $800. I might not make that back.
Yeah.
So I just started getting a lot of family, a lot of friends, started getting other people, and just kind of went from there.
Yeah, and bro, I remember when you first started out, like your advertisement and marketing on Facebook was crazy. Like you got a few guys in town that do detailing, but like you was on there every day showing the cars you were doing, trying to get new services, everything like that. So what made you go hard like that for the detailing?
Once I kind of got into it, I decided I kind of really wanted to pursue it after I started getting busy and stuff. And I know there's like a couple places around here that they do good work and stuff, but a lot of people just don't know about them because they're kind of old school. Like maybe they're not doing Facebook or ads. So I was trying to be different. And I really didn't know anything about it. I just had a lot of friends shared my stuff. A lot of people helped me hand out flyers. Like I got a lot of ideas from other people. It wasn't even all from me, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people called me and just gave me advice and helped me out along the way.
Yeah. And that's another thing too. It's like people don't realize when you doing something like pure and you're a genuine guy, there's so many people that go out the way and help you out. Like if they see you already going out there and you're a go-getter and you're making it happen, like they have no problem helping you out in the process.
That's what I found too. Yeah, there's a lot of people maybe I didn't even really know like that really came out their way to help me, or maybe people that I never really been close with, or yeah, I had a lot of people reach out, other business owners that just said they wanted to see me succeed, so they gave me advice. And yeah, a lot of people go hand out flyers for me. A lot of people tell me to bring cards and they would hand them out. So yeah, I really kind of got lucky, and a lot of people helped me.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. They say like luck. The harder you work, the luckier you get. So at the end of the day, it's not luck. It's just, what I'm saying, you put that hard work in. Like, what I'm saying, stuff starts opening doors. I feel God opens them doors for you once he see that you're putting it out there.
Yeah, for sure. That's what sometimes I call it luck, but like you said, at the end of the day, it really ain't luck when you're putting in 10, 15 hours. Yeah. You're doing your work, then you're going home and doing stuff for the business, taking phone calls. So a lot of times I call it like lucky or kind of destined, but like I put in the work behind the scenes too. Like when I first started, man, I was doing cars at 9 at night, 10 at night, like 5, 6, 7 cars a day by myself. Like I did anything and everything I could. Yeah, so probably really wasn't luck, but
yeah. Now another thing I want to talk about is this huge facility, man. We took a tour earlier. Like this might be one of the biggest detail shops in Marion. Like, how did you come up on this building?
So I started in my driveway. Then I did a little bit in my driveway, and I kind of did a little bit of mobile. Then it started getting cold out, so I had a buddy that had a garage. He let me use his garage briefly, and I ended up, I did a car for, I didn't know him at the time. I did a van for somebody, and I posted on the page that I was looking for a shop, and her father-in-law ended up having a shop,
Okay.
which was my first shop, which was down the road, and it wasn't even really available at the time, but he worked with me and ended up letting me get in there, so I could fit like 2 or 3 cars in there. It was a good start. So then he had got this building, and he was putting a lot of work into it and stuff, and a lot of money, and he seen that I really took care of the other place when he come there. I was cleaning the floors, cleaning the drains, and he said he'd really like me to come down here, and it was a big jump, but he thought it would pay off for me, and luckily it did, and luckily he helped me and gave me some good advice as well. So
Yeah.
great family. I'm happy to be able to rent from them and to have met them and everything.
Yeah. And people don't realize, man, what it's like the quote they say, your network is your net worth. And they don't realize, like, you got to get out there. When you starting a business, like, it's scary at first to get out and talk to people that you don't know and even advertise your business, because you might not be at the skill level that you want to be yet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But the more you get out there and talk to the people, man, you don't know who you going to mess around and meet.
Yeah, that's what I kind of tell a lot of people. Just sometimes meeting people, even if you don't get the work, just meeting, like, for me, like managers at car lots or owners of other businesses. Man, I get a lot of people from other, like, businesses that don't even relate to mine, but they give me good advice and stuff like that. So, and another thing I always tell people, I feel like when I first started, a lot of people kind of like laughed me off and didn't take me serious. Like, we went out to car lots and they was like,
Yeah.
whatever. And, you know, they ended up calling me down the line. I was just telling another detailer that the other day. I'm like, I feel like a lot of people kind of just like laugh me off. And it's like, so.
Yeah. And man, you surprised me. Like, I thought you was doing all this stuff by yourself. When I came in here, you got like 3 or 4 employees in here working for you. Like, how many people you got working for you right now?
So right now I have 3 full-time employees.
Okay.
And I have 2 part-time employees. Then I got a couple buddies. I wouldn't really call them employees, but they know what they're doing and they like to come help me. They like to get out of the house and stuff. I used to have, last year I was probably pushing like 8 or 9 employees, but yeah, it was a hassle, so ended up kind of narrowing it down and sticking to, like, I got really solid employees now and try to keep it small for now.
Yeah. So, yeah, so like what's your future with the detailing? Like, are you trying to expand to different cities or?
Yeah, that's my goal. I'm always looking for shops in just even like small towns like Gallion, Bucyrus. Like, if I come across the right thing, I would definitely look into it. Ultimately, I would like to get to like the Delaware, Columbus area. I still want to keep this shop as well, but yeah, I definitely like to expand.
Yeah. Okay. I noticed that you don't really like compete with other guys in the area, and I talked about that with Trey and with Rance, that like I don't really try to compare myself with nobody else in this area. I try to look and see, like, online, like the top guys in the country, in the world. That's who I try to compete with.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm different. I don't look at like competition. Like, I'm more than willing to send vehicles to other detailers. I'm willing to tell them what I use, how I do stuff.
Yep.
I think we're stronger as a team than we are as enemies. We can kind of stick together rather than someone trying to underbid you or trying to do it cheaper than the next guy. Like, we could all work together. You know, I got detailers that like my post, share my posts. I do the same for them. Yeah, I just want to see them all succeed. And ultimately, there's like so few of us. Like, if you really break it down, we're not even, you know, touching the surface of what's available in Marion. I can't do every car in this town. You know, some people have 2, 3, 4, 5 cars, motorcycles, boats, campers. Like, I couldn't even begin to do everybody's stuff.
And that's funny you said it like that, because like I'm friends, I got own a barber shop, a lot of people know, and I'm friends with like all the barbers in town, and it's like people think they can put tension in between us, like, you know what I'm saying? You can't do that, because these are my buddies. We go out to the bar, might have a drink, go out, have meetings from time to time and chill out. And it's funny that like the other day, one of my buddies, one of my clients went to him, and he was like, man, you could keep that client, man. He was like, he's cheap as hell. He's like, you can keep that client to yourself. Like, I don't even want it. I was like, nah, I've been trying to get rid of him for months. It's your client, so it's funny, man, and that's good that you get with the other detailers and you guys work together and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I always like to, even people out of town, I like to look at their pages, and sometimes I might go and defend them if like a customer's like, give them a hard time, like. And that's another thing I do when someone comes to me and they say they went to another detail shop and it was bad, or like I'm gonna defend the detailer. Maybe there was a reason behind it. Maybe you guys didn't have the communication between the two of you, like what you wanted. And I think that's a big problem with something like detailing, is just the communication. Yeah. Sometimes people don't know what they want. Sometimes you might not know what they want, or you might not have communicated like what you could have offered.
Yeah, and that, bro, I'm happy. I'm happy you said that too. Because like I get that a lot at the barbershop is we'll have people come in and they'll try to dog other barbers around town, and it's the same way. Like I'm on the barber side because I know what type of business this is, and it's all about communication. And sometimes you might have said you wanted this, but that's not, you don't even know the name of what you really wanted. You just said something you heard, and you know what I'm saying, my barber gave you what you said you wanted. And yeah, it's good that you can, you know what I'm saying, you got that type of relationship with other guys in your field that, you know what I'm saying, you'll defend them, they'll defend you, and you know what I'm saying. So what was like your youth like? Have you always been an entrepreneur? You had the entrepreneur spirit, or
kind of to an extent. Like I would try to go like try to mow people's grass, or like try to shovel the snow. The neighborhood I grew up in wasn't the best though, so a lot of people didn't have a lot of money. Man, we feel lucky if someone opened the door and let us shovel the sidewalk for $5 or $2. Yeah. We walk down to McDonald's and get some food. I was always like really smart in school. Like I always got good grades. I was always good at school. Like, but I never knew what I wanted to do. And I ended up having my son in high school, and I'm like, I really gotta try to figure it out. So I started looking into like what my options were, and I just kind of landed on engineering. I'm like. I'm good at math. I like to build stuff. I was like, this might be the best route. And I feel like there's always going to be like engineering jobs. I didn't want something that there's not going to be like a lot of, or that might not be in the future. So yeah, that was like my main thing. I worked at Honda, and I went to school for engineering, and I never really pictured myself like being a business owner or an entrepreneur. Like I remember thinking like, man, it'd be nice if I could have my own business, but I don't even know where to start. I don't know what the right way to go, and it was hard.
And that's the thing I talk about too, is like being able to fire your job. Like, how did that feel to be able to, like, if people, it's like in Marion, Ohio, retiring from Honda, that's like a, you know what I'm saying? That's what you're supposed to do here. Get a 401k, retire Honda at 35, 40 years. Like, how did it feel to be able to fire your job?
It was hard, man. I actually liked the job for a long time. I made good money. And like when I got hired into Honda, it was rare. Like people didn't get hired. Like you didn't hear about nobody getting hired. And so I got hired. And as you said, a lot of people are gonna look at that as like a career. It's good money. But that was my biggest fear after I worked there for like 7.5 years. I was working in the same area around the same people, and like I was afraid I was gonna be stuck there. And that's what scared me, man. I'm like, like they pay me good, I got good benefits, and it got to the point like I just felt like a kind of a robot, like going with the motions, man. Like I just remember doing like this process, and like this guy was doing this process, and this guy was doing and I'm like, how many times have like I seen this? And it felt like a bad dream, and it was. I kind of just decided there was a few different reasons, but I kind of just decided to let it go, and I was definitely scared because I gave up a lot of money and a lot of opportunity.
And that's the one thing I think people think that like when you're an entrepreneur, like you just get up and go, and you know what I'm saying, they don't realize like it's scary because you don't know what you're gonna make every day. Like, but we're not capped. Like, you worked at Marysville. You worked at Honda for this long, and you knew what you're going to make every year. You know what you're going to make every hour, and you kind of knew that, and you were stuck in that box. Yeah, you might have got a promotion or a raise from time to time, but you pretty much knew what you was going to make for the next 30 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, being an entrepreneur, it's like there's no cap. Like, there's, like, I can make this, and it's like, eat what you kill. So the more I'm taking care of business, the more I can make. And it's eventually about automating your system so you don't got to be here to,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, work, and you got employees, you got a system in place so you can, you know what I'm saying, take care of everything you need to take care of. You're just overseeing the process.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of people kind of like, you know, when they start their own business, they're looking at like how much they're making per hour, and like, I don't look at it like that. I might look at it by like the day or the week, or, but like exactly like you said, I mean, it's always something you're kind of worried about. You could be on a week or a month where you're, you know, reeling it in, but you're always on the back of your mind, like, is it going to slow down? Is it going to stop? You know, what could happen? So even if everything's just rolling well for a long time, I always think about it. I'm always thinking about like, what if, or what's the worst thing, or. But yeah, it's definitely uncapped, and you got a lot of potential. You got to be willing to put in the work, the hours, the time, make some sacrifices. That's why it always kills me when someone's like, "Man, it must be nice." Like, only if you knew what we're putting in. It's nice, but only if you knew like the behind the scenes of what we're doing.
And it's funny you said that must be nice, because I always hear like, "Man, I'm trying to get like you," or "You got all the money," or I don't never see you working." They don't realize like it doesn't stop just because you might see me at this snapshot of me at this moment. I'm chilling. You just don't realize I just been working for the last 12 hours. Like, I couldn't sleep. I'm thinking of what I got to do tomorrow. I got this going on next week. Like, they don't realize the behind the scenes of what it really takes to run a successful business.
Yeah, it's definitely that's one thing I tell people. Like, sometimes I get a lot of crap because I answer calls on vacation, and I answer messages on vacations. I'm talking to my employees when I'm gone. Like, I ain't never had a break where didn't think of nothing about nothing, or didn't have to do something. And I mean, luckily I have great employees to where they can hold it down and all that, but I'm still somehow in it, like telling them what to do or how to do it, or and yeah, that's the way I look at it, man. No matter what, like, people always say like I got a great response time, and people thank me for answering calls on weekends, answering messages on weekends, and at least getting back to them. So that's one thing I like to try to do.
And I don't think people understand, like, so when you running a successful business like this, like, your significant other, like wifey or your girl, like, they become part of the business because they know, like, it doesn't stop. I gotta do this, you know what I'm saying? Because this is how we eat. So how does your girl support you in this business?
Yeah, she supports me. She's helped me detail. She's helped me on the business end, and it does get overwhelming and stressful. Like, sometimes, like, just, you know, put your phone down for an hour, just let it go. But like, sometimes she understands, but sometimes it can get overwhelming. It's overwhelming for me too. Sometimes I just want to shut the phone off or shut the page off and just chill for a little bit. But like, I know me, like, I'm impatient, man. If I call you for something you don't answer, I'm calling the next guy. So I'm going down the list until someone answers. If I'm trying to get something, I'm trying to do it.
And it's funny, man, because I'm the same way. Like, and it got to the point where my wife knows, like, it's just, like, when you running a business, it's 24/7. It like I said, weekends, like you said, vacations, like, it don't stop. Because if I don't answer that phone, they're going to go to the next guy. You know what I'm saying? And so you always got to be there to take business. But like I said, she knows this is how we eat. This is how the family get to do the things we get to do. I'm busy. It's like, do you want somebody that, and it's not about the money, you know what I'm saying, but it's just about the options and the freedoms we have because of the money. And I think she understands that. Yeah,
absolutely. And another thing I found that I feel like really kind of helped me grow along the way is, like, answering them late calls, answering them weekend calls. You know, if someone's dog threw up in the car, like, squeezing them in real quick, man. They always, like,
clutch money.
Not always, but typically they're going to appreciate that. Now you're their guy, and they're always going to come to you, and they're going to send their people to you. I've had that backfire me a few times as well, trying to, like, go out of my way to help. But usually, like, I'd say 95% of the time, it really pays off to do those extra things. If someone calls me and they're going on vacation and I don't have an opening, I always try to figure out something to make it work for them. Figure out a way to get them in, or maybe do the detail over like a 2-day period if they're flexible enough to leave it or whatever.
Now, what's one thing you would tell aspiring entrepreneur, like, to get them going?
Just start. Just go for it, and be willing to put in the work, be willing to put in the hours. Don't focus on how much money you're making, because probably at the beginning you're not going to be making what you want to make or what you think you should make. And also just be flexible, be willing to go out of your way to do some stuff, and yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, and I think exactly what you said, man. Every guy that I've interviewed always said the same thing, and people don't realize that's literally all you have to do is start. Like put one foot in front of the other and get the movement. You'll gain momentum. Like you're gonna stumble, you're gonna fall, but all you gotta do is start. You don't know what's gonna happen if you never start, you know?
Yeah, and I kind of experienced that with like when I started at Honda and I was kind of wanting to go to college. You know, that was the hardest part, was to get out there, to get registered for classes, to get the money figured out. Like once I got that going, it was cake work. And I tell a lot of people, they're like, man, I don't know if I'm smart enough for college. Like once you're there, man, it's a whole different ball game. You're gonna have a whole different motivation. Like yeah, it's different. So yeah, that's the hardest part with anything. I think you just got to get going on it.
Yeah. And what's one thing that keeps you going every day? I know it gets stressful and you got this and you got family life you trying to balance. Like, what's one thing that keeps you going at the end of the day?
For my kids, so I'd say my 4 kids for sure. I try to definitely give them the best life possible, and being excited for the future, like what's to come. Like I know every day I'm working towards that. So
yeah.
You know, like you said, maybe sometime I'll get to sit at home and collect some money, and maybe not even sit at home, man. Just go on business meetings, meet with people, and do some more kind of like behind the scenes stuff. Because right now I'm very hands on. I wash cars. I try to do a little bit of everything. Like I work, which is cool because I like to work. I like to stay busy. I'm not lazy, but I'm probably more valuable actually out talking to people, meeting people, than I am washing cars at the end of the day. But I try to maybe do a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little balance. So that's my guy, Brandon Ballinger. This is Dive, Make It to a Millie. We're about to do a tour of the facility, so stay posted.
I appreciate it. I appreciate reaching.
Hundreds, so fucking with them, yeah, my money gets up. I used to work for my money, now my money working for me, boy, I'm something like a plug. Grinding to get it, the rest of your business, I ain't on that block, I hear hustling drugs. Throwing that fatty confetti, got honeys hot and heavy, ready to leave out this club. Gotta get it 24/7, while you boys sleep, I'ma eat. Yeah, I might try and make it to a meal, matter of fact, make it to a 3. Pulled up so damn clean, shitted on them, no TP.